There's a little patch note in the update to Destiny 2 that dropped alongside the Final Shape DLC weeks ago, a line that got largely overlooked. So Bungie slipped in a small tweak to the exotic sidearm, the Rat King, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I needed to revisit the weapon sometime soon. Well, I've had multiple people on my YouTube videos and in chat of my live streams who have said, hey TV, you gotta try the Rat King now. It's a completely different gun. So this week, I decided to drop my work on some other reviews and build guides and focus on getting a good understanding of the Rat King after its slight change. And in this video, I'll let you know honestly what I think of it as the sidearm guy and if you should bother picking it up again. So let's get into it. So first things first, what changed about it? So the Rat King got an update to its firing animation. So it used to have its own unique animation that made it honestly pretty painful to use while aiming down sights, but Bungie updated the firing animation to match that of its cousin sidearms, so the rapid fire frames like Punching Out or Michael's Reverence. So if you're not familiar with the Rat King, it's a sort of hybrid, like a variant of these rapid fire frames in that it's fully automatic like these other ones, and now it shares the same recoil animation, but it does more damage than those others, and it fires a little bit slower. So to compare, you've got like Punching Out, Michael's Reverence. They've got a 450 RPM rate of fire. They do 39.6 damage to the head, and they kill in an optimal time of 0.67 seconds, which is a very respectable optimal TTK, but you do have to hit 6 headshots in order to pull that off. Now the Rat King is a little bit different. It fires at 300 rounds per minute, but does 57.66 damage to the head, and it kills in an optimal time of 0.6 seconds, which is notably faster, and it requires 4 headshots to kill. So on paper alone, right, Rat King is definitely the king of the fully automatic sidearms. And if you really like the Rat King, hey, Bungie went ahead and slipped an incredible ornament into the Eververse store for it, alongside a dope shader, and you can also get a new helmet ornament that lights up when your homies are running Rat King alongside of you. You can be a terrifying little goblin rat pack. It's kind of cool, honestly, but should you buy the ornaments? Should you equip this thing and expect to absolutely smack around people now that the firing animation is much more manageable? Well, let me get into that a bit. So here's the gist. Last time I reviewed this weapon 2 years ago, I noted that the catalyst is absolutely bonkers on this thing, right? Like, it grants you 20 more aim assist, it gives you heal clip on steroids by both kickstarting your red health regeneration and your shield regeneration simultaneously when you reload after a kill, plus the intrinsic exotic perk that makes you go invisible after you reload after a kill, right? So I coupled this with the Gerfalcon's chest piece this week, so I could chain directly into volatile Elsie's rifle shots when exiting invis. It bagged me a few we ran out of medals, which you'll see clips from in the background today. So while I was pretty high on the weapon back then, 2 years ago when I reviewed it, I did know one clear downside of the gun, and that was that the Rat King is allergic to headshots. It really is, I'm not kidding. Even with the added 20 aim assist, this weapon absolutely hates hitting headshots. You can aim high, you can hold the trigger down, and just see white numbers. It's like it's got negative magnetism on enemy heads, like when you try to hold two magnets of the same polarity close to each other, and you feel that invisible force, trying so hard to keep them from touching. That's Rat King and headshots. So this meant that the Rat King was really a body shot spam weapon that you could chain pretty well back then in that sandbox, because honestly, back then, body shots were still effective in combat. So this wasn't like a huge drawback. It didn't change the optimal TTK too incredibly much, but we live in a different Crucible now. So Bungie literally said, hey, you guys are a lot better at the game now, so we're going to nerf body shot damage. Admittedly, that's overall, I think, a good thing, but it is definitely a bad thing for a weapon like the Rat King that refuses to hit crits. So this increased the optimal body shot TTK on the Rat King. This nerf to body shot damage, it increased the optimal body shot TTK of the Rat King from 1 second flat all the way out to 1.2 seconds for a body shot kill. So that's 7 bullets when it used to only require 6. There's no way around it. The Rat King got objectively worse. The question is, did the new recoil animation make it easier to hit headshots? Did it sort of rectify that innate problem that the Rat King already had, that it was allergic to headshots? And after hours of playing with the weapon this past week, the answer is sometimes. It's sometimes better. So when I'm jumping around in close quarters trying to eliminate mobile targets, no. It didn't really change much of anything there in those duels. So a lot of the time in those encounters, you're hip firing the weapon anyways, or you're not actually going for precision because you're jumping around, things are really mobile, you're trying to take whatever shots you're given. The only time specifically where I felt like I could hit headshots and get that optimal 4-shot TTK, all to the head, 4 shots to the head, was when I did not hold the trigger down. I know that sounds like absolutely bizarre. Why would you not fully automatic a fully automatic weapon? And so that, yeah, I know that seems very weird. And I don't know why, but it worked for me. If I had a straight up easy duel where I could just slide into an open duel, 1v1, I could hit crits and drop enemies lightning fast if I just pulled the trigger 4 individual times and reach that, 0.6 second TTK or pretty close to it, which is absurdly quick. So you'll see a couple of those in the gameplay. And so I can pull that off now. I can get those 4 headshot kills, but the conditions have to be very specific. And even then, it's not overly common, and it takes a lot of dexterity to pull off. So I claw the trigger, which means that my trigger finger is actually my middle finger, not my pointer finger. So because of that, I can keep my pointer finger on the thumbsticks, continue to move freely, and then I use my middle finger to pull the trigger 4 times individually while I'm tracking with my pointer on the thumbstick, because that's an important part of target acquisition, obviously. And because of that, I have a lot more leverage with my trigger finger because the sort of tip of the controller is sitting in the palm of my hand, and I'm squeezing against the palm of my hand with my middle finger. So I've got a lot of leverage there in a way that you don't get with your pointer finger when your pointer finger is on the trigger. So it's very, very specific. So circling back to that original question of the video, is the Rat King noticeably better now with the change to the firing animation? I think it's definitely an improvement, but the Rat King is still a body shot spam weapon, which is pretty contrary to the types of sidearms that I like to use, like the Traveler's Chosen, which is all about pacing your shots and getting those precision hits with decent dueling range, or the precision frame sidearms, which cook with all headshots. Like I've been loving using the Boudica and the Swift Verdict. So I gotta admit, I don't really like the Rat King too much right now. It has a high ceiling, but you'll rarely reach it. Most of your kills will be sitting around that 1 second to 1.2 second TTK, which is pretty bad in close quarters when fusions and shotguns are just gonna cook you if you take too long. This weapon made me focus and work harder than most weapons do, and sometimes, even when I was dialed in, it just says, hey, screw you, TV, I'm gonna hit this body shot even though you're clearly aiming at the chin or the neck. Bullets tend to pull away from the head, and it's super, super weird. You can still do really well with it, absolutely. And if you run around with a buddy or two all using Rat King, you can do some really absolutely criminal things to teams. But overall, I still think the Rat King is, by itself, a B- on its best days. And that's the updated review of the Rat King in the final shape. So thank you so much for tuning into the video today. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like in the video, as that's the best free way to support the content here on YouTube. And maybe think about dropping a sub, kick your shoes off, hang your coat up, stay a while. We'd love to see you around the channel more often. So be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.